Everyone, welcome to this seminar on Alternative STEM, Your Future in Tech. My name is Emma and I'm part of the international team at Abertay University in Dundee in Scotland. Just to give you a bit of background about us, we're a small university of around 4,500 students, and lots of our degree programmes relate to STEM subjects and technology. We're particularly well known for our degree programmes in video games design and programming. Those are ranked #1, or the university is ranked #1 in Europe for video games education, as well as being the first university in the world to offer a degree in ethical hacking, which sits alongside our computing and cybersecurity courses. Fab, my slides are up as well now, so hopefully you can all see that. So today I'm going to speak about what we mean by tech, look at a few examples of new technologies and what kinds of subjects you can study. In particular, some of the related courses that we have at Abertay. I'll also be telling you about some examples of student and staff projects using technology, which may give you some inspiration. Now, I don't claim to be an expert across all of these different types of technologies. As I say, I work in the international team, but I'm always involved with other things going around the university within the different academic schools and learning about their research. So I'm hoping to give you some new ideas to think about when considering your future, whether that's university or career options. Some of you might be looking at your first university degree at undergraduate level. Some of you might be looking ahead to postgraduate and something a bit more specialised or very sort of directed towards a particular career. And maybe this will give you some inspiration as well. Just in case anyone's not sure what I mean by STEM, with the acronym STEM, it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics. It's something that we commonly use in the UK and around the world. And these tend to be more traditional subjects, but we've seen rapid development and advances in technology, which bring about new industries, new career opportunities that maybe you were not aware of or hadn't thought of before, but would link into those kinds of subjects. If you have any questions, please ask them from the conference room via the chat, and they should be fed to me and I can go through any of them at the end of the presentation. I don't expect that I'm going to speak for the full 55 minutes. I don't want any of you falling asleep having to watch me for that long. So there will be plenty of time and I will answer them as best as I can. So on with the presentation. Just to give you again a bit more background about Abertay before I start on the tech focused things. As I mentioned, we're ranked #1 in Europe for video games degrees, and that's 7 years running now, according to the Princeton Review, which is fantastic for us. We're also top 10 in the world for postgraduate video games education and top 15 for undergraduate. So if you are interested in computer games at all, we've got a whole range of courses to suit programmers, designers, artists, undergraduate and postgraduate level. We also were the world's first ethical hacking degree. Now you may be wondering what we mean by ethical hacking. Again, as I said, this sits alongside cybersecurity, and really it's an offensive and attacking approach to cybersecurity. So we teach our students to think about how a hacker would think and how they might break down a system, and then use that knowledge to work out how it can be best protected. We're also in the UK top 10 for student satisfaction, according to the Guardian University Guide and the National Student Survey. And we were awarded UK University of the Year for teaching quality by the Times and Sunday Times Higher Education Guide. So great sort of introduction. And that picture is the front entrance of our old college building. Abertay is a real mix of old and new. It's been a university for just over 25 years now, but we've been an educational institution for a lot longer. So the old college building is one of the older buildings, but if you ever come to visit Abertay or study with us, you'll see that there's lots of other new developments and newly developed facilities and buildings for our students. So onto technology. Why tech? Why would you want to look at tech options for university studies, for career opportunities, any of those kinds of things? Technology is a really fast-paced developing industry. There's lots of progression, and we're always coming up with new things, and I'll show you a bit more about some of the things we've come up with at Abertay. later on. It's the driving force behind today's innovations. There are a huge number of job opportunities, which is ever increasing. We find our students who are on a lot of our technology or sort of computing focused courses find jobs really easily because they've got the right skills and there's lots available. But there's also a huge range of job roles and industries. Technology is maybe more traditionally thought of as computing or computer science based subjects or careers. But actually, you'll find technology feeds into so many different industries and it's used all around the world for lots of different things. Within technology, salaries are on the increase as well. So specifically in this case, referring to the computing and IT related professions, it's meant to be one of the happiest industries. There's good job satisfaction, there's a flexible approach to working, particularly at the moment. But in terms of the kinds of job roles, freelance opportunities, you can work from anywhere. Which is obviously happening at the moment a lot more. And it might not mean working from home. It might mean that you could go and work anywhere in the world and be a remote worker for a company or freelance on your own. So there's lots of positive reasons to be working within technology or studying within technology. So next, I'm going to speak to a few examples of technologies that offer increasing career and study opportunities. They're technologies that have been around for a while, but perhaps there's not been as much focus on them within universities, within studies, more so on research. And now there's lots more opportunities. They're becoming more common for you to be able to study and to find increasing job opportunities. These are typically more specialized or applied subjects as opposed to traditional STEM subjects that we think of, like physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, computer science, those kinds of things. So these ones are a little bit more specialized. So artificial intelligence and robotics. Artificial intelligence, AI, is something that we do offer at Abertay, and we have lots of staff undertaking research and projects in this area. So robots are created to complete all kinds of tasks, something really basic like hoovering the floor to something much more complex like manning a space mission. So the interest in the study of robotics has massively increased in recent years, since there's huge fascination from society in this area. I mean, even people who maybe don't have the skills or the knowledge to be working in that area, they still find it such an interesting thing. It's really popular. And due to the fast progression of new technologies as well, the way that it's been developed, especially I've seen it over my lifetime. When I was much younger, when I was a child, there wasn't nearly the level of artificial intelligence or robots that we see now. So AI brings together computer science, engineering, and also cognitive studies. So almost thinking about the psychological aspects of this. And that's something that our course within AI brings in as well. It's a branch of computer programming that programs computers to think and act in certain ways in order to mimic human intelligence. So although it's involved in the creation of intelligent machines, AI is largely concerned with the creation of intelligent computer programs, and these get put into the machine. So that's how AI and robotics go hand in hand. Our next one, nanoscience and nanotechnology. Now this can be used across sort of a huge variety of industries. It's the study of really tiny technologies, and the field is huge, ironically, with a lot of growth projected over the coming years. There's potential for innovation across a variety of sectors, as I said, and this focuses on atomic level processes. So, for example, a medical technology or a food science degree are two examples that could lead to a specialization within nanotechnology. So that could be through development of medical equipment that needs to be really small to be used within a human body, or the genetic modification of plants and food and that kind of thing. Next one, cybersecurity and networking. Again, something I've already spoke to, how Abertay is very involved with cybersecurity. So here we're looking at areas like forensic computing or digital forensics, ethical hacking, which is the term we use at Abertay as an offensive form of cybersecurity, security resilience and resilient systems. So this area of industry develops the latest technologies used in controlling and protecting information on the web, and software and hardware technologies. So studying in this area would give you an in-depth knowledge of computer crime, cybercrime, an awareness of how forensic methods are used to collect evidence against cyber criminals. So a cybersecurity degree is not only a study of computer information systems, it's also a study of how these systems fit in with societal laws and ethics, hence the name of our program, Ethical Hacking. All of our students undertake a module around kind of the ethical approach to this, and have to understand that side of things. It's very, very important that they're not using the skills that they've learned in a bad way. So there are different approaches to this, whether you're looking at how to build something that is resilient or testing systems for their resilience. So like our students trying to hack a system and break down barriers, firewalls, and that kind of thing. And the last example that I have is bionics, which is also known as bionicle creativity engineering, which is a name given to the application of engineering to recreate biological processes. So this sort of thing might appeal if you're really interested in biology, but also technology as well. You've got different perspectives coming at it from a biological perspective if you have learned about the human body. So for example, fully functioning mechanical limbs like the arm shown in this image, to other developments. There's been projects and research within how to sort of create the extra thick skin that a dolphin has. How would you create that in an engineering way that's not natural? So as I said, this kind of thing might appeal to students who are interested in the relationship between biology and technology and how that all fits together. So those are just some examples of different types of technology. It's by no means an exhaustive list. There are lots and lots of different technologies out there that you might be interested in doing research around, studying about, working in that kind of industry. So lots of opportunity there. Looking in a bit more detail then at what kind of thing you could study. And as I say, some of you might be looking for your first undergraduate degree, in which case you've got a huge variety of things to choose from. Some of you might be looking at a postgraduate, for example, if you've done an undergraduate degree in the field of computer science or computing, you're maybe looking at how you might specialize your skills that you've learned into a particular industry or subject area. So if you are particularly interested in a very specific type of technology or a subject discipline, then you may be able to find the exact niche course that you're looking for. As I say, it's slightly more likely at postgraduate level. If you're starting out at undergraduate level, then you might want to stick to a broader subject, so potentially one of the more traditional STEM subjects, and then specialize later on at postgraduate level or in a particular job. It just helps with keeping your options open. And it's important to remember that at university, even if you are picking a broader subject such as physics or chemistry, so chemistry is what I studied at university, it's likely that you'll be learning about current research, new developments. You're potentially going to be working on your own research projects in an area that you're particularly interested in. So in my third and fourth years of my degree, I got to choose the kind of subject area within chemistry that I wanted to focus my research on, and worked in the relevant research group to be able to do that, which gives you some autonomy within your course to try out a specialism and see if it suits you, rather than committing an entire degree program to that. So STEM subjects and related technology degree examples would be things like biology, biomedical science, chemistry, computer science, all types of engineering. I've had lots of people talking to me about engineering in the past 2 days. Really popular subject, but also so varied because you've got lots of different branches of it. Mathematics, medicine, physics, all of those kinds of things are perhaps the more traditional programs that you would expect, and can lead on to, as I say, more specialized technology-focused programs. Specialist or applied programs are slightly more niche. They'll go into more depth on a specific subject, but remember that if you are picking them, it's quite not necessarily closing down options, but you're making your path a bit more sort of narrow towards that area. But it's great if you know that that's what you want to specialize in. So for example, you can find degrees available in robotics. You could also look at something like mechatronics, which is a combination of mechanics and electronics. Or you could start more generally in computing or engineering or physics. So when you're looking at degree programs, check out exactly what you'll be studying on that degree. sometimes the specialist or applied programs do also cover standard STEM topics. So at Abertay, our computer games technology undergraduate program has common modules from computing running throughout the degree. So you'll still be covering mathematics, computer hardware, programming, data structures, some artificial intelligence as well. But you also get those specialist classes pertaining to games programming. And you've got group and individual project work to create games. So it means that once you leave the degree, our graduates are industry ready. They have the right kind of experience to start their career in the games industry. But equally, if they had a change of heart and they wanted to do programming in a different area, they've still got a lot of the knowledge and skills that they could transfer, or transferable skills as gets banded around a lot, to be able to go and do that. So the initial pathway that you take will define the way in which you study a new technology that you're interested in. So take some time to consider what works best for you. So for example, something like biology and computer science are quite different subject areas, they're quite different pathways, and it's not very easy to switch between the two later on. But something like engineering and computer science are slightly more interchangeable, depending on the type of engineering that you might be going to study. So if you're interested in something like medical technologies, you may want to consider biology, chemistry, medicine, biomedical science, but you could also approach this from an engineering perspective. So look at your strengths, your interests, work out what kind of subject or career would be best for you. Because the creation of new technologies is often something that sits within engineering, but having the biological knowledge means that you might collaborate with an engineer in order to create something new and some kind of new technology. So there's lots and lots of options out there. So another consideration is the type of degree that you want to study. So that's where I've got the practical versus theoretical. What kind of teaching and learning will best suit you? The wide variety of STEM and tech subjects gives a huge range of styles of learning. So you've got traditional lecture-based theory, you've got courses that are pretty much all hands-on and practical work, and then everything in between that. So that's an important thing to consider. If you've got, 20 different universities that offer a course you're interested in, have a look at how they teach it and how you'll be doing that learning. Because the same degree program at different universities can give students very different perspectives, knowledge and skills. So make sure you look at information on the content of the course and how that learning and assessment works. Lots of degree programs, especially in sort of STEM and tech subjects, will feature some kind of industry engagement or work placement that's integrated within the course. This might be a work placement module where students are out working in industry for a semester or a year, or it could be project work that takes place within the university, but you're doing that for or in collaboration with an external company. And also look out for accreditations in degree programs. These can be quite useful for your career. Sometimes it's something that employers will look for, that you've done an accredited degree. In some cases, it means that you are that step closer to being an official registered, chartered engineer, for example. There's lots of different reasons that you might want to do that. So at Abertay, for example, our Masters in Ethical Hacking and Cybersecurity is accredited by the National Cybersecurity Centre here in the UK. Our engineering programme has got, I think, 4 different accreditations. Again, it helps you becoming an official registered engineer or a chartered engineer. It gets you that bit closer. We've got the Institute of Food Science and Technology accreditation. So lots of universities will have this kind of thing, and they will put information about that onto their website. So Abertay degree programs, I've just given a little rundown there of the ones that I think are most related to kind of alternative STEM, technology, and that kind of thing. So at Abertay, our degrees are really aimed at the current job market. They give students real life background knowledge and job related skills. The content of our programs is dictated by the job market and is developed with assistance from experts and expert input like guest speakers, industry level equipment and software, and the kind of facilities that we have on offer for our students. So these degree programs broadly cover computer games, cybersecurity, and applied sciences. And many of these programs have the industry engagement integrated within the course. So for some, such as like civil and environmental engineering program, there's a compulsory work placement module where all students spend a semester in the third year working on an engineering placement. So they get support from the program leader and from the academic school to secure those placements, to make sure that every single student gets the opportunity. Other subjects have things like that as an option. So, for example, in biomedical science, there is an applied route. So in the third year, again, if students are keen to have a clinical placement, so working in a lab, in a laboratory in one of our partner hospitals in the region that we are in Scotland, then they can do that. I think it's like a 18-week placement in the third year again. And that's an option. Not all students do that, but it's there for supporting students who particularly know that's the route they want to go down, and it'll be useful experience for them to have. You can see all the computer games courses there as well, both in the bachelor's and in the master's side of those courses, which, as I said, I've talked about the rankings for them already. The ethical hacking and cybersecurity students, they work with a lot of specialist equipment. So we have our hack lab, which contains an isolated reconfigurable network with a dedicated internet connection. So this allows our students to practice hacking and their digital forensic skills in a safe and controlled environment. So all of these courses could lead on to, as I say, specifically the games industry, the food science industry, artificial intelligence. Some students stay in academia because they're very interested in carrying out further research in that area, but also you could be using those transferable skills to go elsewhere. So as I said, the computer games technology students really do get a solid background in computing and being able to apply their skills to other areas. So that's kind of, that's not all of our degree programs, it's just the ones that I think are most relevant for today. Another way that you can get involved with learning about different technologies, even if you're not studying the exact thing that you want to go and do later on, is to get involved with things that are happening at university. There's always lots of student clubs and societies. Every university in the UK has these kinds of things, and a lot of technology, games, cybersecurity, those kinds of things are really, really popular sort of subject areas at the moment, whether you're studying it or whether it's just an interest that you have. So you might have chosen to take a broader subject like physics or computer science or biology, and going along to getting involved with clubs and societies might then help you with thinking about what you might do later on, or what you want to do as a job, or if there's a specialist postgraduate qualification that you want to do, it can help you with that. So I've put in a couple of examples of things that we have at Abertay. So we have something called the DARE Academy. This is a student team competition that happens every summer. Sadly, did not happen last year, but it was announced that it will be going ahead for 2021. And this is typically something entered by lots of our games students. And the competition is to build and polish an industry standard game. So there'll be teams of students submitting pitches for game ideas, and there'll usually be 6 teams that are shortlisted, and they spend the entire, usually month of July in the summer, working on their game. They have support from games industry mentors who come and help them out. They get a small budget to help them with the creation of this, and of course they have access to all the facilities at Abertay. It's a fantastic competition. There's been lots and lots of varied prizes over the years. One year I know the winning team got to go to the game design conference in San Diego, which was awesome. And this year I think the prize is something like, it's like £20,000 I think for the winning team, but specifically sort of £5,000 to go to development of that team for further creating the game, as well as £15,000 within sort of support and other funding from in-game, I think it is. So yeah, that's a great opportunity, as I say, for our game students to be involved with, but also there might be computing students who have the programming skills but don't specifically study on the games courses, who want to get involved with that kind of thing. and can help sort of dictate where they might go next, whether they choose to do a master's to then specialize in computer games technology, or if they want to go and work in that industry. The other example that I have here from Abertay is Securite, which is our student-run information security conference. It's the largest of its kind in Europe, and it attracts lots and lots of companies to come and display all of their opportunities for students. It's a great networking opportunity, especially for our students who are looking for those jobs when they graduate. So it's really aimed at helping students to interact with that industry, and features guest speakers and a sponsorship from the industry as well. And that kind of thing happens across all UK universities. They'll be putting on conferences, having events that are designed to support students to get to know what opportunities are out there and what kind of jobs they can look to go and do. So I would always say, look at, outside of the studies, what else is the university involved in? Are they doing things in the local community? Is there a particular hub within wherever the university is based that they're supporting? And I'll talk a bit more about some of the partnerships that Abertay has. But it's definitely something that's worth looking at. For example, at Abertay, in Dundee, we have the V&A Museum, and I think I've got an image of it a bit further on, which is the V&A Museum of Design. It's the first V&A museum outside of London. It opened a few years ago now, but Abertay is a partner of it and has been really involved in games and robotics exhibitions that have taken place there. So all of these kind of added value things that you get at universities, they're really worth considering how they're going to support you with going forward. So I mentioned that I wanted to talk a little bit about some examples of tech-focused projects that our students and our staff have worked on. So a bit of a case study about one of our students. This student created, along with his team, but he's been a key driver of creating some games supporting healthcare. So Jamie Bankhead, who's a graduate from 2020 from Abertay, he studied on our bachelor's degree of computer game applications development, and he's the CEO of the games company that they formed called Conglomerate Games. And the company was developed, was started to specialize in developing healthcare games to improve lives. So his honours project as part of his studies at Abertay, which is the individual research book project to develop a game, was a speech therapy game. And it was designed as a series of mini games, each replicating a common exercise for speech therapy. So using the gamification techniques, speech therapy routines have now been turned into fun, playable exercises. So this really helps people who need to do these exercises to be a bit more interested in it, and makes the experience of the physical therapy routine more enjoyable. They also created another game which was to enhance physiotherapy for children with cystic fibrosis, to help them practice their airway clearance techniques. So that was in a clinical trial down in London, alongside some other games to monitor the effects that the games have on patients. But most recently, they won the top prize of £30,000 at the 2020 annual Santander University's Entrepreneurship Awards. So that's obviously going to hugely support them to continue to develop more games. And it's fantastic for them as Abertay graduates. As I say, Jamie only graduated in 2020, and he's already running a successful games company involved with these kinds of things. And it just shows the applications of some technologies where you might think, as an example, computer games it's for games, but actually it's used so widely across different industries and for different reasons. And it's the same at our staff research level as well. So I thought I'd share with you some of the ways our staff and research contribute to new technologies, but also showing the collaboration across different disciplines and subject areas. So as you may be able to guess that some of this is relating to food science. So Abertay's food science department is involved with lots of new technologies and research areas, and they also collaborate quite a lot with our School of Design and Informatics, so within games, cybersecurity and computing technologies. So here on the left, you can see some machinery which is part of a new project which uses state-of-the-art ultrasound technology to help improve the shelf life of fresh fruit and vegetables. So that's a big project that various members of staff within food science are working on. As I said, they've been collaborating with our School of Design and Informatics as well to use games, technology, and artificial intelligence within agriculture. So the university is currently involved in a knowledge transfer partnership with the aim of utilising artificial intelligence to help develop the perfect potato, hence the picture of all the potatoes, which apparently is something that's usually a lengthy and complicated process because they're looking at tolerance to pesticides and how the potato develops, how it might become resistant to certain things. And then on the right-hand side, that's Professor Ruth Falconer, who's from the School of Design and Informatics, and she's using video game technology to enhance cow health at dairy farms. So technology can really be developed and used in so many different areas of industry and academia. It's quite incredible the applications that technology does have. And finally, I wanted to just talk a little bit about some of the partnerships that Abertay has. And the V&A Museum that I mentioned earlier, that is it in all its glory, sits right on the waterfront in Dundee. It's a really incredible piece of architecture that, as I say, Abertay is quite involved with that. But we have got some sort of new partnerships and new things going on. And as I say, with technology and with development of so many new industries, technologies, you want to look at wherever you're going to study that you're going to be at the forefront of that and be able to get involved in all of those kinds of things. So just to run through these, Abertay has been named among the first 8 UK universities to be awarded the Academic Centre of Excellence in Cybersecurity Education. That goes alongside that we already have a Centre of Excellence for video games. But this one is from the National Cybersecurity Centre again. So the accolade recognises the high quality of Abertay's teaching, research and outreach work, and it links in with the university's plans for the Cyber Quarter. So the Cyber Quarter is a new development within Dundee. It's going to bring a new research and development centre to Abertay's campus in Dundee. So this is going to provide a space where industry, academics and students can all work together on new solutions to real-world cybersecurity problems. So it's really exciting for us and for our students because it means that they've got an added space to be active and interacting with industry, because the plan is that this will also attract existing cybersecurity firms to Dundee, and that Dundee really becomes a hub in Scotland for cybersecurity. But it may also support the creation of new companies, and that's something that lots of our students will be very, very interested in. Abertay is also going to be supporting a new 5G innovation hub, again, to be located in Dundee. And this is going to open up more opportunities to design products and services incorporating technologies like immersive, interactive, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, automation, all kinds of things. So it's really going to allow for new innovative deployments of sensor-based systems, and just another place that our students can get involved with due to Abertay's links with the 5G hub. It's also going to encourage the adoption of more proactive cybersecurity practices, and again, something that Abertay is super involved in. So everything links up so well and provides those opportunities for our students. So Abertay is also partnering with a new esports arena, which is also going to be built in Dundee. There's lots of development going on in the next couple of years. And it's going to be somewhere that Abertay has facilities within the venue and is developing a new range of esports degree programs as well. So, I mean, hopefully that shows you that Abertay is at the forefront of a lot of technology, but also that there's all of these things going on. And this is just a small portion of everything that's being developed across universities in the UK, around the world, and the kinds of technologies that you can get involved in as a prospective student to come to Abertay or other universities within the UK. Lots of things to think about. So if you are considering a tech-focused degree in any kind of element of technology, then do have a look at what the university has to offer, how they're involved in the local community, how that might support you with career opportunities, how you can make sure you're getting the right experience during your studies to be getting the best job going on from graduation. So that's everything I wanted to talk to you about today. As I said, I'm more than happy if anyone has any questions for them to put this through via the chat in the conference room, and they'll be fed through to me. But not a problem if you don't have any questions, or if you think of something later, then you're more than welcome to contact me. As I said, I'm part of the international team at Abertay, but I'm also happy to pass on any more research-focused questions or specific questions about our courses that I can't answer myself. I can pass it on to our academic staff, to our program leaders of our courses. Just drop me an email, or you can WhatsApp me on that number, and I'll be more than happy to get those questions answered for you. Or if you want to ask me anything about applying to study at the university, or anything about our courses and that kind of thing, I'm also your best person to answer that, as I'm the main lead on supporting students who are applying from Turkey. I'll give it a couple of minutes and see if any questions come through. I'll just check and see if there have been any. But if not, I hope you're all having a great day, and thank you so much for watching today. It's been a real pleasure to be able to speak to you. And for those of you who maybe hadn't heard of Abertay before, this has given you a bit of an insight into what Abertay is all about, the kinds of things that we have on offer here in Scotland, and maybe, as I say, food for thought on looking at any kind of technology that might be something that's of interest to you.